My name is Kelly Pavel, Technical Manager for Invino Engineering, LLC. And today I want to talk about understanding steam piping and NPT connections and avoiding premature failures. Now, this is a part two, part three-part series. Quality check for NPT connections. The thing is that we need to check the taper of the thread. There's a certain distance and when you put the threads together, they engage and stop. In a certain distance, the threads are totally mated. Remember one thing, the threads do the sealing. NPT standards specify hand-tight engagement, how many turns before the threads engage. Also, the effective thread length. And as I said before, how many turns for engagement. So when I put the threads together, how many turns before the threads start to engage? This is very important. And it is a standard specification. Therefore, there's a specified distance. Effective thread is the length of the thread that forms the seal of conventional machine pipe thread. So what's this distance before the threads are totally mated and forming the seal? Remember, the lubricant, or some people call sealant, is to lubricate so the threads can engage. The threads do the sealing. Installation personnel need to know the distance and how many turns before the threads engage. This is a quality check to make sure the threads are meeting specification. A rule of thumb for the threads to engage is about 1.5 turns, but that depends on the pipe diameter. But just a rule of thumb. Now, NPT threads meeting specifications. One of the things is that when we put the threads in and we start to engage the thread, then we should be looking at torquing the thread, because taking a pipe wrench that's 40 inches and a piece of conduit and try to tighten the thread, you over torque the thread, destroying the thread. So there has to be a proper torque to the thread. And really using a pipe wrench, torque wrench is the best way. Critical to maintain standards to create and maintain uniform fittings for taper pipe threads. There are standards and we need to maintain them. If we don't maintain the threads or check the threads to make sure that they're meeting specifications, and then there will be leakage. And number one cause of leakage in steam and condensate systems is NPT threads. Now, ASME, National Pipe Thread Taper, this is from ASME. This is the standard or specifications for threads. Now, this information should be readily available for everyone that's working with steam and condensate piping systems, so that we know that all the lengths of engagement and everything else about the thread is knowledge for the personnel. Now, to check the NPT connections, there are devices that we have out there. There's a thread gauge, which is quite common. You can see it in this picture here. A thread ring, a thread plug. The thing is, these devices need to be available for everyone that's working with the piping system so they can check the threads. Now, we buy a lot of components from overseas and all over different countries. The thing is that there's a variance in, threaded connections throughout the world. What we need to do is make sure the thread is meeting the specifications for our country. Seat and pipe or pitch, gauges are convenient combined into one simple device for easily check the threads. The gauge ring and plug will allow installation personnel to determine if the threads are meeting specifications for the application. Now, during a quality check, it's not uncommon to find 43% or more of the NPT threads failing to meet specifications. When we go on job site and we start checking the NPT connections to make sure that they're meeting specifications, we're continuously finding failures. They're threaded connections, but they do not meet the NPT standards. Therefore, we have to be very careful about the threaded connections that we're using. We want proper seal. Now, the thing is that you can go into the plant and there's a threaded connection that's been there for 15, 20 years and never leaked. Well, it's probably because it was a proper design and manufactured threaded connection. Field NPT thread machines need to be properly maintained to ensure proper thread production. As you can see in this picture, it's not well maintained, so it's not going to produce a quality NPT thread. The pipe diets must be inspected and replaced clean before every operation. So if it looks like this, high probability it's not going to produce a quality NPT connection. Now, you always should have a standard operating procedure by the machine to ensure personnel operating the machine are producing a quality pipe thread. And the first step is always produce a sample threaded and then check it for quality. Make sure it's meeting the specifications. Unmaintained pipe threads machines will produce a poor thread quality and over causes connection failures and leakage. Train in thread design different types of thread types and methods for checking threads to make sure they're meeting specifications. In applying the correct amount of lubrication and the type of lubrication is really a key to making an NPT thread not to leak. Lack of training and even a lack of SOP to follow NPT installations are a major failure factor in NPT failures. So we want an SOP, very simple to make, and training the plant personnel. And there are companies that provide training and plant and local training facilities or sometimes even online. But we have to make sure that the plant personnel are trained. And, to make all these connections here and understand there's other ways of making connections. So down here, basically this is 2 connections compared to 20 plus connections up here. So old technology, and this is just newer technology that's quite readily available. If you surveyed 20 people in the plant or anywhere, you probably get 20 different answers on how to install an NPT connection. As you can see here in this example here, there's, this is not how you do NPT connections. And there's a variety of different people doing NPT connections at a variety of different ways. There's only one way, the correct way. On one project, we were investigating NPT failures. We documented 260 NPT connections using 12 different methods for NPT connection installation. 12. There's only one, the correct one. Okay. This variation in installation procedures lead to improper installation and failures. We'll continue with the next series, but short, just a little bit. We do steam engineering assessments, steam balancing, steam reliability, steam training. We are project managers. You can visit our website. There's 64 best practices there and continuing to be added. Well, right now there's 70. And continuing to be added to our website, so for technical information. If you have any questions, please contact us. Thank you for your time and have a great day.